Soul Healers, and welcome to Soul Horoscopes Weekly Edition. I'm your host, Christopher Witecki. Well, it looks like we are moving through Pisces with pretty ease, or somewhat ease, until this week. Lots of change on the horizon. Before I talk about, though, I do want to talk about our sponsor, Lightcast Bootcamp. This is the one time I teach on camera, maybe one time this fall, but this is it, where how to step into your reality, how to step into your power. There's a new world around the corner, and it operates on the universe, on the principles of the universe, always has. But in transitions like this, you want to know how it all works. If you're ready to step in your power, consider this. At least check out the website, lightcastbootcamp.com. This is an opportunity to learn the Force, Luke. Also, I want to invite you down to our awesome community, soulgarden.me. We have office hours on Tuesdays and Thursdays now. We have live chat. We have the Love Lounge. We have extra videos you can buy really cheap to learn extra stuff. I mean, we got it all. We're trying to build the awesome Lightwork community, a resource for you to grow your soul and come to when you need recharging. We also have a writing staff here who is here constantly bringing you information. And Diane has got the information about at what point does a Virgo sabotage? She's writing about this article about a Virgo sabotaging at the very last moment because one little detail throws the whole thing off, which I think is super hilarious and well said. And she writes that in about 5,000 words, I think. So it's a long read. Just kidding. It's a detailed joke. Anyways, come on down and hang out with us. It's cool. Now, where are we? We're in Pisces, chapter 1, and the Virgos are working on the part of your soul that basically is responsible for balancing act. How you keep things in balance, you know. And at the end of the day, you know, the philosophy for Virgos is you wing it. You go with it on the fly. That's how you manage balance. Pisces is how Virgos, that is the successful way to manage. You can look at every detail, but in the end, it's about synergy and going with the flow. Now, this turns into relationships, long-term relationships, partnerships, business partnerships, BFFs, best friends forever, where you're together as spiritual partners, so to speak. This is the balance between you and people, is what I'm getting at. And as we start off, we always want to get rid of the things that prevent us from living in balance. So if you have a balance issue with eating, it can actually come in this transit, not in the health transit. It may have taken till this point because it was about balance, not health so much. Either way, as we start on Monday, it is time to make decisions about what to step away from. What throws you off balance? It's got to go. And this also is what throws you off balance in relationships. Now, you may be thinking about whether or not someone is right for you or not in this transit. I would not focus your awareness on that. This is something I teach in Lightcast Bootcamp. Instead, just focus on the parts of relationships that throw you out of balance. Say no to the parts within the relationship that throw you out of balance, and then see if the relationship is still standing. That's always what I say. So, time to step away. We're making decisions. Now, the moon is in Taurus, so you're very theoretical, you're very philosophical emotionally, you're very open on Monday when it comes to emotion. On Tuesday, we're going to act. Mars rules the day. On Tuesday, it is time to put into action that decision. So if you decided that you're going to have to make some changes to restore balance and order to relationships and everything in life, go ahead and act, put them into action right away. The sooner you act, the quicker you know if you made the right decision, right? Also, you're putting into action the solution. You're getting started on the solution right away. A lot of people unhappy with the pace of their life. It's because they didn't act at this step, okay? Now, the moon is still making you philosophical at the same time, so you're really open to the ideas. I don't think it's going to be a problem. For those of you who are watched over personally by me and the Guardian Agency, I will send you a personal text on Tuesday that gets to the bottom of what it takes you to act and what keeps you from acting as a soul. These are the quirkinesses of you, Virgo. Hopefully the details that matter to you. Talking about details. Now, Wednesday, hump day, it truly is. There's a lot of shifting going on. Basically, that decision about balance, imbalance has a lot of play because from that point on, the week really opens up and things speed up. On the one hand, we're in transition, 10 degrees. We're literally shifting and holding space for the next chapter. Now that you're stepping away from what throws you out of balance, you're holding space for what might keep you in balance. The new world, the new reality, the new relationships, the new marriage, a new partnership, however you see it. So you're holding space for that. What's dynamic and amazing is this grand trine. This is a soul pyramid in Earth. It comes from the planets lining up in a certain degree, and as the week progresses, it gets tighter and tighter, actually. This becomes more and more of a powerful grand trine. This is not the peak of it. And what it represents is 3 areas of your soul that are all hardwired for a short period of time. That allows this energy to speed up. You start to get things. You start to get to big pictures like well, if this, and this, that means this. It is an epiphany moment, and it's when souls grow quickly. So space and time tend to speed up. We're going to see life speeding up. I would say time has been moving slowly in January and February, but now you're going to see the perception of space and time speeding up. That's because we are literally putting things together at a faster rate in this short period of time. Awareness is speeding up. Now, what this represents is a very dynamic, very important kind of triangle for the Virgo race. For one, Jupiter is saying, okay, time for Virgos to get out of the house. Virgos do not know what they do not know. Believe it or not, you're just going to get a whole new house of knowledge between now and the fall. Your beliefs are expanding, your religion is expanding. You are coming out of your own stubbornness about beliefs, and this is moving fast. Pluto is saying, okay, at the same time, it's time for Virgos to follow their dreams and their heart's desire. And that goes beyond relationships. We're talking about the dream of being a singer, the dream of doing this, the dream of doing that, the dream of having a house one day. Any dream you have, it's time to move forward. So, to move forward with dreams, you must expand your beliefs and what? Mars retrograde in Virgo. Some of your decisions about being tough were wrong decisions, says Mars. Mars says you're going to reconsider some ego decisions you made. And yes, you were justified to make those decisions when you made them, but now your ego is going to have to do some changing, Mars retrograde, in order for these two things to happen. So this is an interesting dynamic. On this hump day, emotions, the moon, are focused on career. So career is probably what's inspiring you on Thursday to think this way. Career, and, or your legacy, or your kids, or what you'll be known for, that sort of thing. Then on Friday, Jupiter comes out to play. That means we're going to expand. After you have pointed where you want to go yesterday, now you run with that ball, you run with this idea. The grand trine is getting tighter. The moon emotions are focused. Are we on Wednesday? What happened again? Oh, we're in Thursday. Oh, you know what? No. I'm sorry, go back. What it is I get caught up in the thing going on Friday, you're partly cloudy and whatever. And I look at that and I'm like, oh, we're on Saturday? When I go through a time warp? Anyways, that's just my little working with the green screen. But what my point is that you're feeling about career, and Neptune is out to play. Neptune moves 1 degree. What's cool about that is we haven't had Neptune's influence up until now, until Thursday in Pisces. God's representative, which is Neptune, has not been talking, which means human beings have been left alone without guidance to bonk into their heads and do stupid things. But now suddenly the universe is online, like, oh, by the way, that could hurt you. Now it's online. It's shouting at us. What's it shouting at? Basically, Neptune represents where God is speaking, which means church. Church for Virgos is going to be their marriages for the next 14 years. It will be your church where you will get down and pray. Just kidding. All right, then we're moving on to Friday. Friday things actually are we're going out, we're going partying. I think I had forgotten Neptune was the problem. And Friday is a day where you want to expand, you want to run with all these balls that I just said. The moon is in Cancer on Friday, which shifts emotions now to where you are in public, what your role is. Remember how you always want to nurture the world? It's because you got Cancer on the house of society. But this moon, what you do in society is suddenly in a tug of war with what your inner child wants to do. So the universe has kind of put a stint in here. It's like, oh yeah, you can follow your dreams, but don't forget about society's, your responsibilities to society. But for those of you Virgos who do too much in society, oh, don't forget about your inner child. This is an interesting little dynamic. It's like a yoga pose we're being forced into, or like spiritual twister, which I think is really interesting. But Jupiter rules the day, and this is the day on Friday. Don't forget on Friday we also have SG Live with Carolyn Nagel and myself, so it's a great Jupiter day to come down and laugh with us. We are live at 9 a.m. Honolulu time. That's all the way to 7 p.m. in London. I mean, they happen the exact same quantum moment, but time zones are different. Come on down and check us out. It's a good time. Now, this whole week builds up to Saturday, an amazing, crazy Saturday. Look at all of this. I don't even know where to start. Uranus rules a day, which means that we're going to have breakdown. So if any of this wasn't happening, we're going to have breakdown. Breakdown is wherever it is that you're kidding yourself in your relationships, reality would hit by Saturday, okay? So the parts of your relationship you're kidding yourself, or parts you built out of straw instead of brick if you're a little piggy, those break down. The universe is trying to get you to go up a notch when it comes to how you see yourself in relationships. Let's not forget, relationships will be your church. So it's time to take it up a notch, which means you got to shake off what's on the bottom, and that's the breakdown. Anything on the bottom vibration that needs to shake off. That is happening in a big way. But then also in a big way is this dynamic party going on in space. Remember, at the same time, your emotions are focused on who you are in the world, but let's not let your inner child go too far, that dynamic. And this dynamic, look at this. Venus opposes Saturn directly at 28 degrees on just Saturday. Just the day before, Venus was 27 and Saturn was 29. Tomorrow, they'll be different numbers. This is how the universe just comes in a magical, crazy Virgo moment with detail. I mean, it just astonishes me. But what this represents is an old story going on with you trying to raise your soul capital, and where do you draw your boundaries anyway? So the universe is making you keep in mind, okay, so I have to have these kind of boundaries, and I'm worth this much, and I need to keep growing and learning, and I need to follow my inner child, but it can't go too far and get me out of my society perspective, and maybe I should reconsider some of the ideas about my ego. That is the chord that strikes on Saturday. And then they all break apart. It's amazing. Now, I thought of a cool new service that we're going to be doing out of Guardian Agency, which is inspired by what I call a holy shift. That's what's happening on Saturday, a holy shift, and it's called the GA Alert Network. What this is like our own kind of emergency broadcast system for Soul Garden. So when things hit the fan, when shift hits the fan, if you register by texting the word GA Text Me, to 96362. We'll send you a text on that day. We probably have to put like a Pepsi commercial in there, but at least you will have been warned to run for your life. So give it a try. Then on Sunday is a breakthrough day, a day where we're going to put all of our pieces together. I think if your relationships are in turmoil this week, you're not going to find harmony till Sunday. Okay, but you will find harmony. And still the universe has got us caught in this yoga pose. But things do start to break apart. The moon is still focused on public reputation. But as the day goes on Sunday, you get cloudier and cloudier because the moon is heading south, if you will, for your subconscious. Not so much fun. But that said, it's going to be a dynamic week. And Sunday is a day where you get clarity and you should get it. That's a good thing. Now, as I go, I just want to remind you, last week to order for Lightcast Bootcamp tickets. If you want to master days like I just showed you on that map, that's what Bootcamp is about. If you want to step into this new awareness of what you're worth, this is the class where I teach you. Don't forget that. And Virgos, let's be careful out there. Some of you are old enough to know that reference. Until then, live, love, be.